message with the word king. Does the Lord Mayor need new robes? Your thoughts. Now, traders in an up-and-coming part of Margate are demanding absent landlords do more to tidy up empty properties which fall into a state of decay. It's claimed that the Old Town area has boomed since the Turner Contemporary Gallery opened nearby, but that a small number of abandoned eyesores still let the place down. Graham Cook reports.
Margate Old Town hit rock bottom a few years ago. Composed though it is of some of the prettiest buildings in town, almost every shop was boarded up and derelict. Much has happened since then. European and lottery-funded grants have been available for refurbishment, and the Turner Contemporary Art Gallery has opened on the seafront across the way. It's paid dividends, with new businesses opening and apparently flourishing.
I'm Lisa Hemingway from the Cupcake Cafe in Margate Old Town. We have been in this shop for 9 months, and previous to that we had a smaller shop next door for nearly a year. We're really busy, doing very well and enjoying it.
Hi, I'm Rachel and I'm owner of the Greedy Cow Deli in Old Town Margate. March the 4th we opened this year. Knowing that Turner's on its way, we saw an opportunity and took it.
And has that made a difference?
Yes, a huge difference, yeah.
My name's Anne-Marie Nixie and I'm the owner of Ching in the Old Town. My takings for the shop in April, May and June this year are double what they were in April, May and June last year. And I will put that down to the Turner effect and people coming down and revisiting, absolutely.
But despite everything, some derelict buildings still remain. Lisa Hemingway says where the carrot hasn't worked, the stick needs to be used.
The council should look at the buildings that have fallen into disrepair, contact the landlord and say you've got a month to get that straight, get it painted, get it looking shipshape, or we will do it and charge you. I think that's the only way to keep an area clean and tidy. There's no reason to have a shop full of dead pigeons and just really, really scruffy and dirty.
It's a view endorsed by other traders in the area who feel their hard work and investment is being undermined by a few neglected eyesores. And it's a perfectly realistic proposal, according to Chatham-based property lawyer Peter Daniels.
I would say it's very realistic. The council has very extensive powers. It all derives from Section 215 of the Town and Country Planning Act. Very important powers which enable a council to be proactive in dealing with derelict land and which affects the amenity of an area.
The law in question, Section 215 of the Town and Country Planning Act, provides for a council to require an owner to deal with problem properties after having identified what it is that needs doing, and to impose quite steep fines if the owner doesn't comply. The leader of Thanet Council, Bob Bayford, says he's fully aware of the law, and the council has used it in the past, but he says it's not quite as straightforward as people might imagine.
It is a fairly lengthy process to deliver a 215 notice. We have to contact the landlords, which means sometimes having to find them, and then we have to try and negotiate with them. If that doesn't work, then we can send a 215 notice. The council has in fact served 17 such notices in the last 2 or 3 years, so we do what we can, but there is a cost involved, and I think everybody realises that this council is in fact fairly cash-strapped, so we do what we can do. I don't think people should forget what we have done. I mean, over 50 buildings have been restored in the Old Town, with the council working with owners to help them with grants and so on.
And the trend continues to be towards improvement. If that trend can be speeded up, traders will be grateful. This is Graham Cook for BBC Radio Kent in Margate.
Well, the property expert Phil Spencer, the presenter of Location, grew up in Littlebourne near Canterbury, spends much of his time coming back to the Kent coast, particularly Thanet. He's featured Margate a number of times on his television programmes, and this afternoon I asked him what he thought of the town.
It was an incredibly grand town, and I've always said that if an area has good quality architecture, with Margate and Ramsgate does as well, then whilst it has been accused of being somewhat sort of shabby and down at heel a little bit, it will come good. The amenities, the facilities, what it offers in terms of housing and in terms of connectability and beach and lifestyle are absolutely fantastic for Margate.
You have a problem, don't you, though, when you have traders who really want to immerse themselves in what Margate's future could be, and you've got Turner Contemporary that's obviously bringing in big crowds already, and they then see around them empty shops where the owners are not really doing anything with them, and they're pretty much looking shabby. That causes a problem with encouraging people to come in and enjoy different parts of the area rather than just see one giant construction on the seafront and say that's Margate.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Empty shops do bring down an area, but things are on the up. Those retail premises have improved just in the last 3 or 4 years. I've seen it. I mean, I don't spend lots of time there, but from the visits that I've made, and I've made several over the last 6 or 8 months, there are better shops, there are better cafes, there are more facilities. So I think it's an improving picture.
But do they need to do something about it? The old town's boomed, doesn't it, since Turner Contemporary opened nearby? But there are still abandoned shops that the traders say, this lets us down. This doesn't make our town look good.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. What can be done? I guess at the end of the day, it's up to landlords, and the landlords need to set the suitable rents that a commercial enterprise can afford to pay. Things are changing, but it takes time. But it will change. It will happen simply because, as I said at the beginning, because of the quality of what Margate offers in terms of its architecture and amenities.
I look at the whole of Kent, and we're very proud, obviously, of living here. And you clearly love it, growing up in the area and coming back and wanting to come back. So if you were selling it to people outside of our county, Kent as a county, and we know it's south-facing, so we're doing all right there, Phil.
Yes, we're very close to our European cousins, and it's extremely easy to get across out that way. But I think the Kent countryside, the beaches, some of the best beaches in the whole of the country, in terms of its access up to the capital, there are very, very few places in England where you can buy a reasonably priced and very fine, handsome-looking property and be with